There are certain amendments to this Act. Amendment to Article number 31, serial number 1. Existing, I will tell you what is existing and what we have proposed. Why we have proposed. Existing, the affair of each comunidad shall be managed by a managing committee elected every 3 years in a manner prescribed in this code. What we have proposed is the affair of each comunidad shall be managed by a managing committee elected every 3 years in the manner prescribed in this code and rules framed thereunder. Since all details were not mentioned in the code, other details will be prescribed in the rules. Powers to make rules are prescribed in Article 153, bracket 19 of Legislative Diploma 2070. So, serial number 2, amendment to Article number 50. Person who have served as a member of the managing committee for one term may contest election for immediate next term of 3 years. The proposed is an outgoing member of the managing committee to the comunidad shall be eligible for re-election. Now, the justification to this is to clear the ambiguity that the member can be re-elected for number of terms and not only for one subsequent term. Amendment to Article 70, Clause 1. The elected part of the comunidad may only be dissolved by the government after conducting an inquiry in which it is proved that its performance was against the interest of the comunidad. In this inquiry, the defendant must be given a hearing. Proposed, the elected part of the committee may only be dissolved by the government after conducting an inquiry in which it is proved that its performance was against the interests of the comunidad. In this inquiry, the defendant must be given a hearing, provided that the government may, pending inquiry, if it is found just and expedient, suspend the committee and appoint an officer of the government to take charge of the affair of the comunidad until completion of such inquiry. Now, just to make provision of the suspension of managing committee during pendency of inquiry and to appoint government officer for management of the affairs of the comunidad, government may, with due diligence, decide if the substitute committee is required to be dissolved or not. Amendment 70, Clause 3. The members of the managing committee affected by the dissolution shall not be elected before completing 9 years from the dissolution and shall pay a fine of rupees 50. Now, what on the proposal, the member of the managing committee affected by the dissolution shall not be re-elected before completing 9 years from the dissolution, and each such member shall pay a fine of rupees 10,000 to enhance penalty so as to have deterrent effect against violation of provisions contained in Article 70. Amendment to Article number 327. The plot adjoining each other and located near residential buildings and roads abutting roads, public way or village ways and paddy fields shall not be granted in emphasis for cultivation within a radius of 50 meters, except strips of land of not more than 5 meters wide, which may be granted without auction and on payment of approximately furrow previously fixed increased by 50%. Now, the proposal, the plot adjoining each other and located near residential building and those abutting road, public way or village ways and paddy fields shall not be granted in emphasis for cultivation within a radius of 50 meters, except strips of land of not more than 10 meters wide, which may be granted without auction and on payment of approximately furrow previously fixed increase by 50%. So as to bring the provision 327 in conformity with building regulation. Amendment to Article number 334A, Landless Zonario. landless junior proposal is the landless junior of the concerned comunidad in order to restrict grant of land by comunidad only to its junior. Amendment to Article number 334A existing, provided also that no person or member of the cooperative housing societies, as the case may be, whose annual income exceeds rupees 3,50,000 or such amount as may be prescribed by the government shall be eligible for the grant of land or lease without auction. The proposal is provided that no person or members of the cooperative housing society, as the case may be, whose annual income exceeds rupees 15 lakhs or such amount as may be prescribed in the rules by the government shall be eligible for grant of land of lease without auction. The existing provision contained in the proviso has become redundant. The income limit was last amended in the year 2001. Salary has been increased, hiked 2 times, 6th pay commission and 7th pay commission. Amendment to Article number 334 existing. For the purpose of the article, the word landless means that neither the person nor his or her spouse or minor child owes a plot of land or house in the state of Goa. The word house shall be include a flat or apartment. Proposal. For the purpose of article, the word landless means that neither the person nor his or her spouse or minor child owes a plot of land or house or an undivided share in ancestral property which on the date of making application for grant of land has been separately allotted share either in family partition or settlement or allotted through court proceedings or otherwise in the state of Goa. The word house shall also include a flat or apartment to bring more clarity in respect of the eligibility criteria for the grant of plot of land by comunidad. Amendment to Article 334A. This is a new one. An applicant falling under Clause 7 above shall support his application by a certificate issued by the concerned comunidad duly countersigned, attested by the administrator of the concerned zone, certifying that he is a junario of the such comunidad, to restrict grant of land by comunidad only to his junar. Amendment to Article number 334C proposed. Notwithstanding any contained in this code, the government may, with the prior consent of the concerned comunidad, grant land by way of long lease for any public purpose for such period and on such terms and conditions as it may deem fit to any government department, government undertaking, or statutory body constituted by government. This is to make provisions for the grant of land irrespective of the area to the government with the consent of the comunidad. Amendment to 339A. The comunidad may entrust the development of land to any private agency by auction and or by inviting bids subject to the approval of the government so that it can grant subdivided plot of land as per the provisions of this code. Some comunidades, due to weak financial positions, are unable to develop their land. The proposed amendment seeks to enable such comunidades to get the land developed to private agencies. Amendment 339B. The immovable properties belonging to and vesting in the administrator of comunidad in the north, central and south zone shall be considered as deemed to be covered by the provisions of the Goa Public Premises Eviction of Unauthorized Occupants Act 1988, Goa Act number 22 of 1988, and shall be considered as public premises within the said act for the purpose of the said act. This is to bring the immovable properties belonging to and vesting in the administration of comunidad in the north, central and south zone shall be considered as deemed to be covered by the provisions of Goa Public Premises Eviction of Unauthorized Occupant Act 1988. Goa Act number 22 of 1988, and shall be considered as public premises within the said act for the purpose of the said. These are the amendments.
प्रश्न 100 सा
एक मिनिट मूव करून amendment
प्रश्न असो आसा विधेयक विचारून घेवचें जेका जे मान्य आसा ताणें हय म्हणचें हय जेका मान्य ना ताणें ना म्हणचें हय म्हणटाचें म्हणणें मान्य जालां हय म्हणटाचें म्हणणें विधेयक विचारून घेवपाचो प्रस्ताव मान्य जाला आतां ह्या विधेयकाक कांय दुरुस्ती आसात सेक्शन 6 सेक्शन 7 श्री गणेश गांवकर हांणी म्हणच्यो
Speaker sir, Goa Legislative Assembly Amendment to the Goa Legislative Diploma number 2070 dated 15/4/1961, Amendment Bill 2023, Bill number 17 of 2023, as introduced in the Legislative Assembly. Serial number 1, Amendment of Clause 6, page 2 in Clause 6. Yeah, okay. So the circulated amendment is moved by me for amendment clause number 7 also, and it is before the House.
Yeah. Yes, दुरुस्त्यो सभागृह मुखार आसात. Yes.
Speaker, the first objection which I would have is the amendment to Article Section 3, which is Article 50. An outgoing member of the managing committee of the Comunidad shall be eligible for re-election. आम्ही पळयतात ते Comunidad परत election बसतात and it becomes like a family fiefdom. And I think earlier when the original code was there, a person could not contest election for that same post. He could be contesting for another post. Then that was dropped and he was eligible. Then it was barred. I think you put a term of 2 years, 2 terms. I don't think you make him permanently there because there are some people like one family runs the whole Comunidad forever. So I think it is the interest of the Comunidad, of the components of Comunidad, let them not be there forever. You can put 2 terms and after that they are out. So this is the first thing. Second, in section 4 of this bill, Article 70, एक provision आता that during pendency of an inquiry, the government, if it is found expedient, suspend such committee and appoint an officer of the government to take charge of the affairs of such Comunidad till completion of the inquiry. This is, according to me, a very dangerous clause, and I will tell why. कोणे complaint गायल जाल्यार, the moment you conduct an inquiry, you will suspend that committee. And the problem which will happen is, a government officer will be appointed and he will run. Then he will do whatever you want or the government wants. You may not have bad intention, but can be misused. The other part of it is, Comunidad elections जाताना एक effective committee असता, and there is also a substitute committee. तेय पासून elected असतात. So if you have, even assuming you dismiss the effective committee, you can allow the substitute committee to come in.
Bab Kallus and Benzi, a Comunidad sort associated, and Tani by rules, Tani side केल्ले हा, किद्या केले. पण मुख्यमंत्र्याक हांव इतलें सांगूंक सोदतां, तो इतले ताकतिकेन आहा की हे बिल इंट्रोड्यूस जावचे पयलीं आज पळय एडिटोरियल आयलें. क्लियर अटेम्प्ट टू सीज कंट्रोल ऑफ द Comunidad. या आयचे एडिट पेपराचे फास्ट पसून करून आमी तुमी म्हाका दिसता तें अपलोड केलें. ताजेर ऑलरेडी पब्लीक रिएक्शन हे सुरवात जाला. हे म्हणटात द गोवा लेजिस्लेटिव्ह डिप्लोमा number 2070 amendment bill 2023 when passed will allow the state government to mediate directly into the affairs of the Comunidad, giving itself sweeping powers that will eventually strengthen its stranglehold over the age-old institution. Speaker sir, अशेंच जाता. हे एडिटोरियल पेपर बी वाचना दिसता तूं ह्या दिसांनी. तूं फकत फुडली पेज पळयता आपलो फोटो. हे एडिट म्हणटा की तुमी आतां लास्ट कितें उरलां तें बचको मारतात म्हणून. तो Comunidadीचेर बचको तुमी मारला म्हणून.
Because of poilut amendment of Article 39, itun mention kela ki for the word prescribed in this code is changed to prescribed in this code and rules framed thereunder. Speaker sir, कसले rules हे आता तुमकां फुडें सांगता. पयलू म्हणजे Article 327 हितून कितें घातला सर की 5 मीटर जो जागा आसा 5 मीटर दिवपाचो तो आता 10 मीटर करता. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आता आमी पळयतात मीन्स Comunidadची जागा आसा सायडीच्यान दोंगर आसा प्रायवेट प्रॉपर्टीज आसा समज 5 मिटराचो 10 मिटर गेलो जाल्यार अकॉर्डिंग टू DCP तांकां रोड एक्सेस मेळटलो कित्याक फाल्यां म्हणटले की कोमुलदाद ना एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर आसा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटरा कडल्यान घेतले थंय रोड असाइन करतलो आनी जी बिल्डर लॉबी आसा ती वाडत रावतली रियल इस्टेट जातलो सो जे आमचे आदल्या जाणट्यांनी राखून ठेवले ते खंय ना खंय काबार जातले
Speaker sir, आता पळया there is a no mention in the code where there is made that amendment is to be placed in the Comunidad Convention. म्हाका दिसता Advocate Kallus बाप हेजेर agree जातलो. He is agree.
I agree with that.
He is agree. Right. Now एकूच मिनिट. आता फक्त कशें आशिल्लें regarding that plot. आमचे हितूर फक्त एकूच म्हणणें आशिल्लें प्लॉट that with concern म्हणजे तांकां जर जाय जाल्यारूच धाडटले ते नाजाल्यार धाडचे ना. एकूच फक्त एकूच विषय आसा जो प्लॉट एक मिनिट
in every department there is always one crooked guy no so everywhere there is always somebody
ऐकून तरी घे न्ही
एक्सप्लेन ह्या पूर्ण बिलान एकूच विषय आसा ह्या पूर्ण बिलान एकूच कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विषय जो दिसता म्हाका दिसता एडवोकेट कालूस नोज बेटर म्हणजे फक्त हितूरले जे प्लॉट डेव्हलपमेंट करपाक जाय आसत जाल्यार आनी इन केस इफ दे नॉट हॅविंग द फायनान्शियल तांच्या कडेन जर पावर पयशे ना पयशे तेंच्या कडेन ना तांकां जाय जाल्यार ते प्लॉट डेव्हलप करपा खातीर गव्हर्मेंटा कडेन धाडून दितले परमिशनाक प्रायवेट प्लॉट डेव्हलपमेंट आमी करता म्हणून हितूर गव्हर्मेंट इंटरफियरन्स करिना एज फार एज बील जे म्हाका समजला तितूर तांकां जाय आतां प्रायवेट डेव्हलपरा कडल्यान डेव्हलपमेंट करून घेवपाची ते परमिशन घेतले तांकां आमी करता म्हणून आनी ते परमिशन घेतले
I understand that you all are thinking one thing that it is when the comunidad is financially weak but those words are not there.
Okay, what word you want to introduce?
When the comunidad which is financially weak only introduce that.
We'll introduce.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll introduce. With minor changes, whatever the suggested by Advocate Kallus.
Right.
Yeah, we'll introduce.